Hello, and thank you for coming to the McWaters Effect. I'm your host, Matt. Today, I'm going to be talking about Joe Manchin and his possibility of leaving the Democrat Party for the Republican Party, or maybe running for president in 2024. But first, I need you to hit like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Now, let's get on with the show. Now, this first story here, Joe Manchin says he's not a roadblock to Biden's agenda, but he won't be a part of blowing up the Senate. Well, the main thing he's talking about that would blow up the Senate would be getting rid of the filibuster, which the filibuster's been around for over 200 years. And it is something that helps the minority party have a say in bills and put amendments in bills. It is something the Democrats used whenever Trump was in office. Why would they want to get rid of something that kept Trump somewhat under control? And it's because they want to use it in order to push their agenda and to take control of the country by having DC statehood, packing the Supreme Court, which those are two things that Manchin and Sinema are completely against. And then you have other things such as the size of the infrastructure bill that they want to use. We have spent almost $6 trillion the time that Biden's been in office. $6 trillion. He's only been in office for 100 days. That's insane. And then if you count the whole time during COVID, we've spent over $19 trillion. That's why the economy wants to bust wide open. There's $19 trillion there that it can use. But the thing is, you're going to have issues such as inflation. Perfect example is inflation that's going on in the United States right now is large products to buy. Like when it comes to vehicles, they've went up quite a bit. And you can also see in small ticket items such as milk and even lumber, the price of it has gone up a lot. And if you keep on printing money, you devalue the dollar, which will make it cost more for you to buy the items you normally get for, like, if you bought the item for $4 and you take half the value of $1 away, you're spending $8 instead. Manchin opposes DC statehood bill, likely doomed its prospects in the Senate. It's a power grab by Democrats. Manchin knows that. That's why he opposes it. And not only that, there's nothing in the Constitution to allow DC to become a state. Anyway, if you know anything about history, majority of states that became a state, they had a constitutional convention. When they have that, the states decide whether or not a territory becomes a state. There would be a vote. And that's what would have to happen with DC and Puerto Rico for that to happen. I think Puerto Rico would have a better chance than DC would. But anyway, now there's several states that didn't have to do that. One of them had to be West Virginia. And that happened because after the Civil War, there was a compromise with Virginia separating into two different states due to half of the state of Virginia actually fought with the North, and that was West Virginia. Joe Manchin balks at the Biden's infrastructure plan and suggests two separate bills. The fact is, his infrastructure plan, when it comes to Joe Biden, first thing, it's a lot of money. That's number one. And number two, it has nothing to do with infrastructure. Almost half of it goes to helping the elderly and disabled. That has nothing to do with infrastructure. And not only that, almost the other half, only 6% goes to roads and bridges. And about the other half goes to big businesses in order to keep them afloat during the COVID situation. It's just distributing wealth from the poor to the rich. That's what it is. Or to the middle class to the rich. That's what it's about. That's all it's been about. Joe Manchin knows that. The White House fails to address Joe Manchin's concerns about corporate tax hikes. The reason they don't want to address it is because Joe Manchin's right. All it's going to do is bring those taxes down to the middle class and the poor. The fact is, when it comes to corporate taxes, companies don't pay for them, okay? They add the cost to pay those taxes onto the products they make, and then the consumer has to pay for them. That's all that happens. Or they'll shut their plants down, move out of the country, go to China, India, Mexico, and have cheaper labor, where they can offset that price. And also, when they do that, they don't have to pay the corporate tax hikes because they're in a different country. There's ways you can bypass it. Manchin opposes House gun safety bills, underscoring Democrat divide over gun control. All right, the main reason he opposes this bill because he comes from West Virginia, a big gun rights state. Not only that, West Virginia went almost 68% for Donald Trump. They're pro-gun. Even the Democrats in West Virginia are pro-gun. And the idea of them making these laws in order to take guns away or even certain kinds of guns, such as an AR-15, they're completely against here. Now it's time for me to give you my opinion on what do I think's going on with Joe Manchin. I believe Joe Manchin has two options here. If he stays in the Democrat Party, which I think is likely he's going to do, I think he's going to run for president in 2024. The main reason is I don't see him winning his seat back in West Virginia. And if he does win his seat back in West Virginia, I think it's because he's going to have to change political parties. Because West Virginia is going further and further to the right. And when it comes to him, his party's left him. When it comes to what he believes in and his policies, they have went so far to the left, he can't follow that far. You know, back 20 years ago, he was a middle-of-the-road Democrat. Now, he's considered a conservative Democrat. If you look at his policies compared to someone like Bill Clinton, who was president, Bill Clinton and the stuff he did when he was president is actually on the right of what Joe Manchin believed. So back when Bill Clinton was president, he was actually, nowadays, would be considered a conservative. Now, the reason I think Joe Manchin might actually run for president as well is because he's going to get that moderate feel. He's definitely more moderate than Joe Biden. I don't see Joe Biden running. He'll be 82 years old. He's going to be too old. I see, obviously, the vice president's going to run, Kamala Harris. I think Joe Manchin will run, and AOC and a few others. But Joe Manchin would be the most conservative one there. And I think he'll be the one that might actually have a chance of deposing Kamala Harris and actually become the nominee. Maybe. But he would have to fight a ton of forces in the Democrat Party in order to do that. Because Kamala Harris is well liked in the Democrat Party. Even though she votes on the same line as someone like Bernie Sanders. Now, the reason I think he might join the Republican Party, if he decides to not run for president for the Democrat Party in 2024, I think he will change parties. And we'll probably find out about it before 2023 if he changes party. And the reason I think he might do that is because he sees he has no future in the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is going further left. They're going into socialism and Marxism. And that's somewhere he can't follow. He doesn't believe in that shit. And that's exactly what it is. It's shit. It hasn't worked on any country ever. Look at Venezuela now. Crap. Look at the USSR. Doesn't even exist anymore. You go on throughout history when it comes to socialism, Marxism, and communism. Didn't work. You know, people now try to mention China. China's not any of those. It's fascism. Okay? And then they say, what about Cuba? Cuba's barely set. And then some people will bring up North Korea. North Korea's a shithole. It kind of proves the point. They're more like a monarchy than a communist country anyway. And in short, Joe Manchin has a big decision coming to him. Whether or not he's going to go further left, or he's going to stay where he's at, join the Republican Party, or run for president as a Democrat and try to bring the party back to sanity. Well, all I got to say is good luck on him on bringing the Democrat Party back to sanity, because I don't see it happening. Well, guys, I'm at the point in the video where I do quote of the day. Our great republic is a government of laws and not of men. Quote by John Adams. I'd like to thank everybody for watching the video. Please hit like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Peace.